This picture here is a picture of the cosmos, or a human cell. When I was younger, I asked my mom, where is heaven? Everywhere. Well, I didn't get that answer. And you know, there's sometimes in your life where you remember things, and I clearly remember that, and it's been something that was bugging me for a long time. So this mysterious place, heaven, all I knew was that I had to get there, and I knew that I didn't know anything about it and figure it out, or try to anyways. So I came up with this conclusion because what the Bible says, that you know, the camel going through the eye of a needle. So you supposedly use quantum physics. So if you used quantum physics to look at anything, it's to look at it when it's really, really small. And when it's so small that, you know, if you looked at a cell, your own cell, a human cell, a neuron, and, you know, when you got it up close, you'd see it like that. And it's 80% full of water. And it's really this big because there's another one close by. But it's got all of this sort of orbits all around it. And the same like, you know, the sun, and the little dots here are all the different planets or little stars, and you might have a group of them. Well, interestingly, when an electron jumps from one orbit to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, finally they get out, and that's known as the sugar coat of the cell. We have all these sugars inside of us, and the light travels along the sugar coat and goes inside. If it doesn't follow that particular frequency pattern, you know, it could be different shapes, everything, it doesn't get in, okay? So that's called hydration, when the water can get in there. And it's supposed to go really, really fast when you're young. When it gets older, there's all this crap on the outside, and the signaling is all messed up. So, you know, that's, you know, not making life very good. So I figured that heaven is when life is good. It's when you're young, you know. Heaven is also when it's, the water is on the inside, and everything's energy is flowing fast everywhere. I think hell is on the outside and trying to get in, and you can't. You're stuck there. So what I came to the conclusion, okay, is, you know, I had to understand quantum physics, and, you know, I had to believe about the genes, and I started about the genes. Well, does that answer you? You know, this big argument with my mom at the beginning was about Darwin. No, God created us. Well, when you look at what the scientists are saying, there's a certain amount of proof from what they're saying. So, could it be that we're both true? Well, she didn't want to argue that way, but she didn't want to hear about Darwin. So I know that when you look at the CSI and the DNA mapping, it's hard to believe that we're 99.8% the same as a chimpanzee. There's got to be something else that's different. And it came to me that in chimpanzees, you know, there wasn't that many of these light patterns getting through to the neuron. You know, they're genetically the same as us, except that these neurons don't go in. It makes them look different, behave different, all of those things. So the number of frequency light patterns that are in us is a lot more than what's in a chimpanzee. And that's what essentially makes us different. And if you believe that, you know, humans are to have dominion over this earth, that would mean that the light of God that's within us, we should also try to enhance it, it better, try to put it in others. And that's when you get into this nanotechnology. You know? When you marry a pure crystal, it has to be pure. You know? If this signaling here isn't the right one, it gets all messed up, maybe the water is worse for you, you know? But I do know that when there's more of this and there's more gold, that's what your nucleus is made out of. Yeah? When the first pictures made of the DNA was with this crystalline solution in this middle right here. And all this energy that's emitting out of here, when you're a child, you duplicate yourself 500,000 times a minute. As you get older, you know, this process slows down quite a bit till, you know, you don't make any more. So I think that, you know, the heaven is when you're able to make more of them. And, you know, from that first cell that you make, the neuron, and you make the neural tube, and that you know, you make all these pathways. So when, you know, some of this water that's in here, when you're born with it, it's 80% or 90%. Every neuron in your body is mostly all water. Well, when the water gets out and doesn't get back in, that's called dehydration. And when everything works good inside of you, that means that there's, you know, at least 2/3 water on the inside of the cell. And I believe that God wanted us to put this light waves into ourselves, and, you know, I think that we're supposed to manufacture this light and not only find out, you know, how to make it better for us, but for children, for all the animals and the plants. You know, the scientist that I work with, he grew a zucchini 8 feet long. This bottle of water here, it really hydrated one cancer patient. Joe, the scientific, said, "I don't understand how your water is so clean without chlorine or ozone. Must be the crystals." So they used this crystal in the Second World War and telecommunications, and that's why the Allies won. They had better sight. They could see the enemy, and the enemy couldn't see them on the radar scope. So inside of us, when this light doesn't flow good, and whatever food that's supposed to get in doesn't get in, that cell dies. Okay? And I believe that when you're sick, these cells, they die, or they go dormant, or they form some other way of being, you know, or different frequencies would be misguiding lights, many different things as to what can go wrong with them. But I think that the key to, you know, finding heaven here inside of your body is when that light can flow through good. And I think that a big key factor to making that light go through good, it's not up to me alone to create it.